My name is Rachel Timothy, and I'm a survivor of sex trafficking beginning from age 9 and continuing well into my adult years. During those years, I battled being safe, accepting the reality of what my life had become, and even harder still, finding people to believe me and to help. After years of staying silent, I finally started sharing with a lady at my local church who took my situation seriously and began the process of fighting for me to be free. It took years, even still, to get safe, but despite being safe, I didn't feel free. I still felt stuck by the trauma.
My name is Denise Walsh, and I'm a clinical psychologist and life coach. When I first met Rachel, she was barely functioning day to day, and she lived in constant fear. I remember her even saying she didn't know what her favorite color was, or really anything about who she was. She had spent years trying to simply survive, and she didn't have the brain space for anything else.
Denise kept talking to me about my dreams of the future. I couldn't see a future for myself, so how could I dream?
It wasn't easy in the beginning. Over time, I began to see a spark in her that wasn't there before. I started to realize that there was a lot more to Rachel than just being a trafficking survivor, and she had a purpose in this world. I wanted her to see that too.
While still battling trauma, I started to see a future and a purpose for my pain, and I didn't want to let that go. Once I started trusting God with my future, it was like everything changed in that moment.
I believe that there is a time to process the hurt and the trauma, but sometimes we get stuck in that season, and we need a loving nudge towards what's next. And that's exactly what Stop Suffering in Silence does.
Once Denise opened my eyes to a world outside of my trauma, I couldn't keep quiet about it. I wanted every trauma survivor to know.
StopSIS was born in June of 2022. I saw such a transformation in Rachel and her growth that we both knew that this could be beneficial for so many survivors. This ministry has seen survivors find their spark, get out of abusive relationships, break addictions, and begin to follow their dreams. I mean, truly, SIS is probably the perfect word for this organization because our survivors become like sisters.
Through Stop Suffering in Silence, I've been given a chance to publicly share my story, to not only raise awareness about trafficking, but also to give hope. I want people to know that trauma is not a death sentence, that God can take the broken pieces and make it into something beautiful. I've been able to use my voice on our social media platforms, with writing programs and our weekly podcast, and with getting to mentor survivors as they continue their healing journey. It's become an extremely fulfilling ministry, but it also is incredible to get front row seats to all the miracles God is doing in these survivors and in this ministry.
StopSIS is a non-profit organization that is educating and raising awareness on all things trafficking and trauma-related, as well as empowering those on their healing journey. Our heart's desire is to speak out against atrocities of abuse and trafficking, to empower our communities to know how to combat it, but also to create a safe space for survivors to come to be heard, believed, validated, loved, encouraged as they do the bravest thing that they ever could do, heal.
This is StopSIS.
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 This is StopSIS. Hi, my name is Denise Walsh. I'm a clinical psychologist and co-founder of Stop Suffering in Silence. If you are a nurse working in the emergency department with sexual assault survivors, we want to collaborate with you. We want to support you in helping the survivor in the emergency department experience a step in their healing journey rather than additional trauma.